Keen have announced their next livestream, Thursday, April 28th at 5 PM UTC. That's 10 AM Pacific, 1 PM Eastern, 6 PM UK, 7 PM Central European Time, and 3 AM on Friday in Australia. Keen love to fill their announcements with teasers when they're about to launch a major update, and this one is no different. Amy, a regular in my live streams over on Twitch, excitedly pointed out that there's a lot of stuff on the teaser image, and we spent like 10 minutes trying to find everything that we could. Follow along and let me know in the comments if I've missed anything and what you're looking forward to the most. The first thing I spotted was the rounded windows, which we've already seen in Marek's blog, so I'm not going to hang about on them, but you can see the new half window style shown on them, as well as over here on the flat ones at the tower in the back. Looking further down the tower, we can see there are two T-junction pipes. We can see there's no light on them, so for those of you concerned about lag, these are likely to be reskinned junctions, but they are wonderful to have all the same. Next to the junctions though, we can see a small grid rover trimmed with neon, which seems to be a new functionality, as well as a neon junction, a little round thing for it to connect to, which we've seen earlier over on the large grid. Moving over now to the hangar in the background, we can see a new armour skin, which seems to be a corrugated metal, which is a great look for buildings that are meant to be built quickly, cheaply, or both. But that's not the only thing interesting about the building. In fact, if you have a look at the stairs that the engineer is walking down, you will see that there is a new block halfway down, and in fact behind him you can see there's a half-width grated path with rails. Very exciting. This next detail was almost missed by both me and Amy. If you have a look at the railings just as they come off the bottom of the stairs, you will see that there is a slightly angled railing just beyond the first one. With the way that the stairs come down turning to the left onto the side of the building, we can see that the straight railing is clearly going to be in the middle of the block. The one next to it, being at an angle, is going from the corner of the block space to the middle of the edge. So there's some new railings. Looking behind the new railings as they go further along the building though, you can see there is a new block that appears to be some sort of a framed conveyor, which is great for people who want to be able to build off them. But that's not all we can see about it. We know there's a lot of call for armoured conveyors in the modding community. There's plenty of those sorts of mods around, and I think Keen have noticed that. If you have a look at the space between the vents next to the blue engineer behind the Twitch logo and the building behind, you can see that there should be some sort of conveyor in that space that doesn't look like a conveyor junction. If they were using the framed conveyors in this instance, then they would need to put some sort of a cover on top of it to make it flat like that. Looking at this closely, we can see there is no cover, which means that the block there is most likely an armoured or full space conveyor. That said, if we have a look further along the image, we can see there are some new conveyor blocks just there, one of which looks like a full block or armoured conveyor, and the ones next to it look like a 3x3x1 medium to small conveyor connectors. I'm really hoping this means that this is going to be in the vanilla game. They'd be very useful in custom turrets and minifying ships. Resting on top of these connectors, however, is a rotor. If you're like me, you might think yourself, rotors aren't new to the game, and just completely disregard it, except this one is advanced and small, which is very exciting. Looking between these two spaces though, there does seem to be a new section of passageways, one I don't recognise at least. And Amy thinks it might just have a ladder built into it. If you have a look at the very top of that, you can see there's a handrail of some sort that seems to be obscured by the rest of the block. I don't think that positioning was an accident. I see you, Zockley. Heading back to the left, we can see a whole bunch of small blocks spilling out of a container, so it seems like we're going to get a bunch of armour blocks that we're sorely missing. Further left still, and in the same theme, we can see what seems to be left-aligned walls. Something's been missing from the game since the walls were added in the first place. Finally, we come to the most important part of the video. All over the place, and I'm sure you've seen them. There are the most adorable little plushies, perfect for keeping you company when you're in your cryopod. So, did I miss anything? Which of these things are you most excited about? How many plushies did you count? Let me know in the comments below, and check out the description for a link to the Humble Bundle store where you can buy Space Engineers or any DLCs you're missing while supporting charity and this channel. Catch you in the black.